I've had the privilege of traveling to many different countries from Europe to the Middle East to Africa and even to Asia. And the best part about traveling is observing the different cultures. And although we're the same in the sense that we're all humans created in the image of God, how different our cultures really are. How different people go about their life, the different ways of perceiving the world, the difference in something as simple as food or as complex as societal behaviors and governance, the difference in art and music and language and self-expression and family structure. And while the similarities are comforting, it's the differences that are truly captivating. Welcome to the Road to Emmaus journey, and today we are looking at 2 Corinthians chapter 5, in which Paul brings attention to the believer's future destiny, our physical resurrection, and eternal union with Christ. Here Paul says something so interesting. He says, when we zoom out and look at the big picture, we realize that there are two destinies. In essence, it's like the adage we hear in the old gangster movies. There's two kinds of people in this world, the haves and the have-nots. Paul is saying that there are actually two kinds of people in this world. Those that have received forgiveness for their sins through Christ's sacrifice, and those that don't. Two kinds of people, the reconciled and the unreconciled. That's pretty powerful. And he goes further to say, when you really begin to wrap your mind and settle your heart on this truth, you begin to reckon people differently. You don't reckon them according to the flesh, meaning you don't see someone merely as such and such a person, such and such years old, with such and such a job, living in such and such a town. You begin to see them as an immortal soul that will either go to heaven or to a very real place called hell. And that is the way we should perceive people, not the clothes that they wear, not the socioeconomic status or the color of their skin or their political persuasion. The person you see in the store or in the car next to you is a soul created in the image of God who will one day face their Creator. With that as our primary lens through which we see people, Paul then says in verse 20, we therefore are Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. I love the word ambassador because it carries more meaning than the word missionary. An ambassador is a very high and honorable role. An ambassador is an elected official whose duty is to represent his or her home country. An ambassador upholds the traditions, the customs, and the culture of his or her country, and their allegiance is not to the country that they reside in, the one that they've been sent to, but rather their allegiance is solely to the country that they represent, their homeland. An ambassador may also have the responsibility to negotiate peace terms of two warring countries or heralds the terms of surrender. And although all through the Bible, we see God's ambassadors, the patriarchs like Noah, the prophets, and finally, God sent his own son Jesus as an ambassador. In fact, Jesus tells a parable in Matthew 21, verses 33 through 44 about that. And although it can be hard to realize in the chaos that is everyday life, we need to first come to grips with the reality that the United States of America, or whatever country you were born in, is not your primary national identity. If you've been reconciled to God through Christ, then that identity supersedes every other identity. You are a citizen of a heavenly country, and that country is a monarchy, who happens to be the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, King Jesus. And like the ambassadors that have come before us, we too have the honor of representing our heavenly citizenship, our King Jesus, his kingdom, his ways, the difference between our reconciled culture and the world's unreconciled culture, all in hopes that they too would be reconciled to their Creator. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. God bless.